Hello, Team Redstone. Thank you for inviting me in your home or in your offices today. And today we're going to be talking about transforming financial blues into financial bliss. We have a lot going on this year that is really attributing or contributing to some of our financial blues. And some of those things that I've talked about in the 3 financial classes that I provided since September are behavioral economics. And why I like to incorporate behavioral economics is because it allows us to understand the psychology behind money and spending. And one of those things that we typically do during the holiday season is get caught up in a mental clog, which is called inertia bias. It's a type of faulty thinking where we get caught up in autopilot, where we think we need to continue to do what we've always done and then fail to try something new. So with the supply chain crisis, with inflation, and with the vaccine mandates this year that are all rolling into a snowball that are contributing to some of these financial blues, let me remind you that at any moment you have the ability to change your course and your trajectory and to get out of that autopilot and start doing something that's not as comfortable and not doing something that is not so commonplace, but again, to do something different. So one of the things that I'd like to help you shift your focus on this year is gift giving. And so instead of really getting caught up in the consumerism, it is to reduce consumption and to increase connection. Connection is something that can't be bought. And since the pandemic, we've realized that connection is actually extremely important, not only for us, because as adults, we've experienced the isolation that this pandemic has brought, and it's quite uncomfortable, but so have your children. So this year, if you couldn't get what you wanted because of the supply chain crisis, instead of focusing on what you can't have, shift your focus to what you can have. And that's one form of a bliss tip that I have for you. So again, I want to share with you too and absolutely just pull back the carpet and address the huge elephant that's in the room with us today. We have vaccine mandates, and there are a lot of folks who may not have the luxury of deciding how they're going to spend this holiday season because they may not have a job come the next month and so on and so forth. So again, with these bliss tips, it may not make you blissfully happy with the information that I'm providing you with, but if there's anything that you can do differently to change your mindset during this holiday season, that's what I'm here for. And I want you to be comfortable to reach out to me if there's anything that you need. But in this season of feeling ostracized and not knowing what's going to happen, I want to encourage you with this as well. So vaccine mandates are causing what we call a significant emotional event. It is causing you some anticipatory grief. What might happen? What could happen? And so we get caught up in human nature in this thought of change. And a lot of us fear change. But this could be that transitional pivot that you've been wanting for some time now. What if this is the season for change where you finally do start your own business or a side hustle? Those things that you've been thinking about for a long time. So instead of just thinking, you know, my life right now, even without the vaccine mandate, is good or so-so. But I want to help you to transform your life to where you're not just happy with just good and just so-so, to a life filled with patterns of hope and expectation, excitement, and fulfillment. And that's what behavioral economics can do for you. So again, with this holiday season, there are a lot of things going on that might be driving you to a point of inertia bias, where again, you just feel more comfortable in staying where you are and where you've always been, maybe buying the same old gifts or sending the same old Christmas cards. And let me provide a little appropriate self-disclosure. So this year, I boycotted Christmas cards. And the reason for that is because I have sent out for the last 10 years a beautiful Christmas card filled with pictures of my family, which I had to finally come to terms with that people probably don't care about. People that I don't know, and a lot of people that I've never received a return Christmas card for. So what I thought this year, I'll just go and buy the regular Christmas cards, carefully select a picture that I like, and let it match my values, let it match my personality, and create a handwritten note. So that's my next bliss tip for you this season, is to go out, purchase regular Christmas cards, offer a handwritten note, because again, we want to decrease consumption and increase connection. Surprise somebody with a handwritten note and see what happens. That will fill you with blissful glee just in and of itself. So another tip that I have for you to make you more financially accountable is to increase positive social pressure. And that's another behavioral economics buzzword. What that means is you are hiring somebody, and it could, when I say hiring, it could be a free professional like myself here at Army Community Services. I'm your Financial Readiness Program Manager, and I can offer you anything from basic budget counseling to how to talk to your spouse about money to how to finally end the financial enmeshment with your grown children or with your grandchildren so that you can actually achieve a quality nest egg for retirement. So what social pressure does is this. So another form of appropriate self-disclosure. I play the piano, but sometimes I get lazy and I don't want to play. So then I reach out and I hire a piano teacher. I just rehire the same one over and over again. I'm getting lazy. I need to have some level of accountability. So because I'm writing checks to this person and because I am going to be accountable to this person, I actually increase practicing the piano and then I do better. I play better. And with that, you could do the same with your finances. So maybe you've not paid attention to your finances lately. Maybe it's been 6 months or over a year since you've actually pulled out your budget spreadsheet. Now you're opening your credit card bills and you're seeing the detriment of what November and December has already bought you. Even once you heard of the supply chain issues, we've had a lot of people, especially with the act now mentality, where they've already purchased their gifts and now they're seeing the credit card statements. So if that's you, you can reach out to a professional like myself and just uncover everything that has been hidden from you and now become accountable and practice more financial money management. You would be amazed if you just pulled back the blinders on what's there and you have a professional like me sitting with you and knowing that this doesn't have to be as scary as it has to be. Once you set eyes on it, once you set goals to something as well, things start changing and you actually do start doing things differently. So the next thing that I have, another bliss tip, is to challenge your thinking. I talked about inertia bias, but there's also this thing in behavioral economics called mental heuristics. And mental heuristics are simply these mental shortcuts that we take because we engage in lazy thinking. And one of the bigger ones that we engage in is affective or affect heuristics, where we make financial decisions based on our emotions. And another one that we tend to fall prey to is the representativeness heuristic, where we think that one thing in the economy or one thing in the news or one thing that you engage in is representative of what everybody else does. Everybody has $20,000 in credit card debt, right? Everybody doesn't pay their student loans, right? Well, that's lazy thinking, and that's a mental shortcut or a mental heuristic which can cause detrimental effects to not only your budget, but to your credit history. And if you have a security clearance, if you're going through a continuous evaluation, it could put a stop to your position. So reach out to me if that's one of those things that you do. There's also an anchoring heuristic, where you choose one thing that anchors you into believing that same thing over and over again, no matter how faulty and flawed that thought is. So whatever your mental heuristic, whatever your thought challenges are, once you start challenging that thinking in the financial realm, you'll find that your financial behaviors will change just as a result of changing your thinking. The other thing that I have for you, another bliss tip, is to focus on what you can control. You'd be amazed that when you start focusing on the things that you can't, your anxiety level goes up, neurochemicals are released, you start having more adrenaline pumping through your veins, more of the stress hormone cortisol is released, and then before you know it, you're wrapped up in a tidal wave of financial blues. But again, if you start challenging your thinking and focus on the things that you actually can control, it frees you mentally, emotionally, and even spiritually. And those types of things can be very beneficial for your financial bottom line. And here's another thing that I have for you. I talked a little bit about financial enmeshment. What that means is we have individuals who are wanting to plan for retirement, who are starting their estate planning, and all of a sudden they realize, wow, I am bleeding money to my adult children, or I'm bleeding money to my grandchildren, or even if it's not money with your grandchildren, I'm not able to be a grandmother or a grandfather because I'm taking on too many responsibilities for my adult children and raising my grandchildren. So financial enmeshment is actually a money disorder or disordered money behavior that I can help you overcome by learning how to say no and also to find the courage to accept the aftermath of saying no. But we can be strong together, and I can help you with that. The last thing that I have for you today is to make sure that you attend the 26th of January financial goal setting class that I'll be teaching, entitled What Your Pig Really Wants. And what I'll be doing with this is showing you how to incorporate solution-focused principles into your financial resolutions. And it's working backwards so that we're beginning with the end in mind. And also, we are now going to start infusing your resolutions with values. So taking you from a place of pursuing stuff to now incorporating values to where you can start pursuing the right things in your lives. I hope this has been helpful. I hope your financial bliss tips do lead you or transform the financial blues into financial bliss. If you need any help, please make sure to contact me. I look forward to meeting you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Brian Copeland. I'm the Redstone Arsenal Community and Readiness Resilient Integrator. One of my responsibilities is to ensure that tenant unit representatives, installation service providers, as well as community wellness personnel work together collectively to ensure that Redstone Arsenal is a healthy community. One of the most important responsibilities of the Family and Social Resiliency Working Group is to provide financial support to the Redstone Arsenal community. Financial health and wellness aids in the family dynamic by ensuring financial responsibility helps increase the family to stay together, work together, and live in happiness. Thank you.